every person who is charged with a criminal offense is entitled to defend himself in person or by a legal practitioner of his own choice.
Remember that an individual is entitled to remain silent.
Every citizen in Nigeria is entitled to maintain a private life.
You are approaching a military checkpoint or a police checkpoint without knowing that it's against or it offends them and subject you to a frog jump. That is wrong.
Hello there, you are welcome to another episode of the program Justify Nigeria on ACNN television, reaching you from Abuja. On today's episode of the program, we are going to be talking about the aftermath of the Endsars protests. My name is Anozie Chinomso. Governance is a process by which a group of people in a nation or state spell out rules and regulations which direct them on how to do things. It is also a process where government decisions are made for the betterment of citizens. But where decisions and policies of the government become harsh, tough, and unbearable to the people, the only option left for them is to protest. Such was the situation of Nigeria a few months ago, when the youths of Nigeria trooped out to the streets with the slogan, #Endsars, in order to end the brutality of Nigerian police and to correct the abnormality that is going on in the Nigerian government. The first 12 days of the protest, starting from Tuesday, 13th of October 2020, was very peaceful until it was hijacked by hoodlums. As at the time of protest, the Nigerian government pleaded with the youths to calm down, that their demand will be looked into and there will be a favorable response. But to the greatest surprise of Nigerians, the police brutality multiplied and increased in geometric progression to the extent of arresting some of the key campaigners of the protest. Does government of Nigeria has the right under law to arrest individuals that peacefully protested? Is there any rule under our laws that prevents citizens from protesting? What is the way out in all this quagmire? With me in the studio to discuss and address all this is Bryson Nzagu Chims. Nzagu Chims is a legal-based practitioner here in Abuja and principal partner of Beachbrooks Legal. You are welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you for having me, sir.
My brother, a few months ago, we've seen the nature and the issue of Nigeria, how it has been. Please tell us, does Nigerian citizens have the right to protest under our laws?
All right. I'll start with saying that Nigerian citizens have every right, emphasis on every, to protest.
In our laws?
Yes, they have every right to protest.
Please.
And I'll also go ahead to say that this right is not bought. It is inherent. The moment you become a citizen of this country, that right is given to you. It is not a privilege.
To protest?
Yes, you have that right. Now, permit me to take it from the international level, at the regional level, and then down to our nation.
Please, go ahead.
Now, Nigeria is part of a state party to the 1966 International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights, ICCPR, and Article 21 that governs the right of peaceful assembly.
Okay.
Article 21, and Nigeria is part of this right. Now, let me read, permission to read.
Okay.
The right of peaceful assembly shall be recognized. No restriction may be placed on the exercise of this right other than those imposed in conformity with the law and which are necessary in a democratic society in the interest of national security or public safety, public order, the protection of public health, or morals of the protection of the rights and freedoms of others. So Nigeria is part of this state party.
Yeah.
It's a state party to this covenant,
Yes.
the ICCPR of 1966. And this says that every Nigerian, every citizen is entitled, has the right to peaceful protest. Now, let me take it at the regional level. Nigeria is a state party also to the 1981 African Charter on Human and People's Rights. Article 11 provides every individual shall have the right to assemble freely with others. Shall have the right to assemble. Every individual. So, and Nigeria is still part of this African Charter of Human and People's Rights. Now, taking it back home to Nigeria, the Nigerian Constitution is the grand norm. Sections 39 and 40. Section 39 provides for a right to freedom of expression and the press. Now, these protests can come in diverse ways.
Okay.
You can do it remotely, you can do it physically. Now, remotely is what you see on social media. Recall that this protest, the Endsars protest, started on social media with the hashtag Endsars.
Yes.
And it started remotely. People started writing things and all expressing their views and opinions on, and then from there it moves to the second phase, which is the physical. So the right to protest can come either remotely, can be exercised either remotely or physically. I can decide as a citizen I am uncomfortable with a happening or something happening, and I decide to take to my Twitter account, my Facebook account, and I go ahead and I protest.
And there's nothing wrong
And there's
with
nothing, the law provides for right to freedom of expression and the press, Section 39 of the Constitution of the Nation. And Section 40 provides for right to peaceful assembly and association. I can decide to gather my siblings and all of us stand in front of Eagle Square and protest.
And the law protects
And the
you.
law provides for that. And the
Both
law
the
protects
international
me.
one you cited
Yes, I have
and
cited
the
the international
legislation,
ICCPR charter.
yes.
I have cited the African charter
Charter, and
on
of
people
course-
on people's rights, human and people's rights. And I've cited sections of the Constitution. And these three, Nigeria is part of them. The Constitution governs Nigeria. The African Charter, Nigeria is a state party to it. The ICCPR, Nigeria is a state party to it. So every citizen is entitled to protest. Once something does not go in your favor, you don't like it, you are free to protest.
So just that's what you said, that is inherent.
It is
You say
inherent.
as
Even
soon as
your
you-
child can protest against you. The child has that right. And the child is not happy with what you do. Daddy, I'm not comfortable with this. And so it is.
That's protest.
Yes, that is protest. And so it is as a Nigerian citizen. You have every right. And it is not bought anywhere. Nobody gives it to us. It is our right. It is not a privilege.
Thank you very much, my brother. Now, during the time of protest, we saw some shooting at Lagos Lekki toll gates. And at the end of the day, Army came out to say they are not, but later they said it's a rubber bullet or what have you. What is your take on that?
Well, it's a most unfortunate situation. I want to be silent on that issue. One, Nigerian Army have issued them several notices to that effect. At some point they said there was no army at the scene. At some point they said army came, but they came to calm the situation. At some point they said they shot in the air. At some point they said, which report do we believe?
Diverse reports.
Which report do we believe? So it now puts the integrity of the Nigerian Army into question. It puts the integrity into question. Now, it is wrong, it is illegal, and it is condemnable. It is not right. It is unconstitutional, I must add. Now, let me take us again, the security agencies. There's something they do, and then they try to use it undercover. There's something that was usually called the Public Order Act of 1979 that says that before you can protest or carry out a rally or something, you must seek the permission of the Nigerian police or the governor. But now I want to say that the Court of Appeal had quashed that section of the Public Order
There's
Act.
a decision on that?
Yes.
Please, can we get
in the case of Nigerian People's Party against Inspector General of Police in 2007, Nigerian People's Party and Inspector General of Police, the court has this to say: the Public Order Act should be promulgated to complement Section 39 and 40 of the Constitution in context and not to stifle or cripple it. A rally or placard carrying demonstration has become a form of expression of views on current issues affecting government and the government of a sovereign state. It is a trend recognized and deeply entrenched. It will only be primitive but also retrogressive if Nigeria continues to require a pass to hold a rally. We must borrow a leaf from these constitutions. So the court say it is wrong.
It is wrong.
And to that extent, it expunged that section of the Public Order Act. So you don't need any permission
to do
do
protest.
anything. Now, the use of force, it is very wrong. You don't use force on anybody. You don't use force on anybody. Now, if all the police had to do, or the soldiers was to do, what is obtainable is that you follow them, accompany them, and give them security.
Oh, the protester?
Yes, every protester needs security. Every protester needs security. Every protester needs security, and not to come and shoot at them. That is what they should have done. So it is most unfortunate, but why I'm restricted to talk about it is because there is a panel of inquiry looking into it. So let us await their outcome. So, but it is condemnable, irrespective of whoever it is, whether the Nigerian police, Nigerian army, or whatever, civil defense, it is wrong. You should rather give protection to the protesters, and that is their right.
Thank you very much. We should rather give protection to the protesters. Are there even the right why they need to be protected? All these things we are going to hear from Barrister James after this short time out. Please do join us again. Hi, you are welcome to the speaker on ACNN television reaching you from Abuja. My name is Anozie Chinomso. The world democracy is as old as the hills. This is because there is no sovereign state in the world where the concept of democracy could not be found. In August 1, 1858, the 16th President of the United States of America, Abraham Lincoln, defined democracy as the government of the people, by the people, and for the people. A political scientist professor, the Right Reverend Professor Israel Okoye, the Anglican Bishop of Ihialadas, opined democracy as the doctrine of government that the numerical majority of an organized group can make positive decisions that will be beneficial to the whole group. To my view, democracy is a system of government in which the supreme power lies in a body of citizens who can elect people to represent them. But beyond these definitions, it is believed that the natural essence of democracy is to better the lives of every citizen in a sovereign state. But in a situation where there is a monumental and catastrophic suffering of the masses in Nigeria, one may be tempted to ask whether we are operating on the system of democracy or democracy. It is pertinent to state here that some of the dividends of democracy that our founding fathers fought for, that eventually gave birth to Nigerian independence in 1960, was the ability of self-government, liberation from colonialism, betterment of lives of Nigeria, and freedom from pernicious rule of the colonial masters. But what do we see in Nigeria today? We see police brutality, we see intimidation, man's inhumanity to fellow men, genocide and homicide, shedding of innocent blood, political harassment, heartless looting of nation's treasury by some of our political class, kidnapping and assassination, betrayal and unfulfilled promises. The list is endless, thereby begging the question, are these the dividends of democracy or democracy? With all this, I have come to the conclusion that Nigeria is in democracy. This is because our political leaders tell us that we have a very wonderful healthcare system, yet the Minister of Health seeks medical attention abroad when he's sick. Isn't it funny that the Ministry of Education tells us that we have free universal basic education, but they can never dare take their children to those schools? Billions of naira was mapped out for COVID-19 palliative, and yet people are dying of hunger. The current administration vehemently opposed deregulation during Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's administration. But now, one of the major agenda of this administration is deregulation. During the hashtag Endsars protest, the government promised heaven and earth that they will make Nigeria better. They immediately changed SARS to SWAT, as if a mere change of nomenclature is the solution to our problem. Maybe we need to remind the government that the fated order of a he-goat is not from the outside, but inside. Dear Nigeria, my country, who did this to you? Democratic nature of Nigeria has turned some of the citizens into cheap blackmailers and unnatural beings. This was the case of one Kenechukwu Okeke, who calls himself a lawyer in the verge of looking for cheap popularity, filed a criminal complaint against 50 hashtag Endsars campaigners before a chief magistrate court in Abuja. This is most laughable. Maybe we need to educate Kenechukwu that a charge of criminal complaint against a person may only succeed when the alleged crime is committed within the magisterial jurisdiction of that court. But in this case, some of the people in the suit are in Lagos and other parts of the country. I wonder which law school Kenechukwu Okeke attended. What a shame. Where the Nigerian Army initially denied that they are not responsible for the shooting at Lekki Toll Gate, Lagos, but later came out to say that it was a rubber bullet, is a clear example of dividend of democracy. Maybe we need to remind the current administration that political lies will not solve the problem of Nigeria. Maybe we need to remind them that rebutting CNN's reports and British Parliament's sanctions is not a solution to our problem. Maybe we need to remind them that failed political promises gives birth to a failed state. Maybe we need to remind them that a government should be afraid of the people and not the other way around. Maybe we need to remind them that they can deceive the people sometimes. They can also deceive some people all the time, but they cannot deceive Nigerians all the time. I therefore speak that until the government of Nigeria under this administration do that which is good and right by changing their diabolical machinations through stoppage of demonic looting and primitive accumulation, distribute and spread dividends of democracy across the nation so that the labors of our heroes past shall not be in vain, we shall continue to operate in democratic system of government instead of democratic system of government. My name is Anoze Chinomso. I just want to speak. Hi, glad to know that you are still there. We are still in the studio with Barrister Chims, trying to tell us what it means for us to do what we are doing. Barrister Chims, before we went on break, you were trying to let us know on the issue of that shooting at toll gate in Lagos that is wrong. But I want to ask, is it right for Nigerian government to arrest or to start to prosecute the campaigners or the people that they feel that they're campaigners of #Endsars?
Now, let me start by saying, according to the 1990 United Nations, which Nigeria is also a part of,
yes,
basic principles on the use of force and firearms by law enforcement officials, they had this to say: in the dispersal of assemblies that are unlawful but non-violent, law enforcement officers should avoid the use of force, or where that is not practicable, shall restrict such force to the minimum extent. Now, let's take it from this angle. You are not to use force. So, if you are not to use force in dispersing them, why should you arrest them? It is unconstitutional. It is a breach of their fundamental right. It is a violation of their fundamental right. These people exercise their right. So how can you arrest someone who was freely exercising his right? It is unconstitutional. And I see it as an attempt by the government of the day to cow its citizens.
Yes.
So that when we see the wrong, we'll keep quiet, because they will come after you. We are not afraid of being arrested. We'll keep out speaking out. It is unconstitutional, it is illegal, and it is wrong.
And this is not a military
And it should be stopped forthwith.
Yes,
it is democratic government.
Democratic government.
It is a democratic government. How can they cow us to make us feel that we are living in a military government? Even under the military regime, it wasn't this bad. Under the military regime, it wasn't this bad. So it is just an attempt to cow us. That is why they came with anti-social media bill and all of them.
And all what have you.
And hate speech.
Yes.
Meanwhile, they are the propaganda. In 2009, Buhari was among those that led protests. Him, Tunde Bakari, and the rest of them.
All of them.
They were protesting. So nobody arrested them under Jonathan.
There was no hate.
There was no, 2014, nobody arrested. He protested in 2009, protested in 2014, nobody arrested him. Why now? It is wrong. And it is most unfortunate that the government of the day has decided to toe this line.
My brother, right, you've just made us to understand that it's wrong. We heard recently, or immediately after that of protest, there was this man called Kenechukwu Keke that decided to sue most of the people he felt that the key campaigners, and he was claiming that even his properties was damaged. What is the legality of that protest? I mean, that's a suit. Is it going to fly? What is it? How do you comment about that legally?
Well, in my opinion, the matter is in court. It's left for the court to decide. But it's just an attempt to gain popularity. It's just an attempt to get popularity. You can't see people exercising their right the same way you have a right to exercise yours, or you're exercising your own right. So somebody comes to sue him, oh, why are you doing business here? This is their right to exercise it. So to me, it's just an attempt to gain popularity. Perhaps there are sponsors behind that suit that we are yet to know. Yes. It is most unfortunate that he decided to toe that line, decided to be used. Because these people, what are they fighting for? What were they fighting for? The good of the nation, to end police brutality, and good governance, which any citizen can demand any day. Any good citizen can demand any day. But it's most unfortunate. Let us see how far he will go with the case, because I am sure it will not see the light of the day. It will be thrown through the back door.
I pray so. Do you think the Board of Inquiry being set up at the state level, various states, is a right step on the right direction to see that all the people that they got get justice in all these things? What do you have to say about that?
I don't know, but then I would say it's a right step in the right direction. But I have a challenge. Now let me ask you: the resolution of the 2015 confab, where is it? 2014 confab rather, where is it? You know, in Nigeria, we know how to set up panels.
Panels and panels.
Fly dies, we set up panel to investigate the cause of the death of the fly. But the question is, what will be the end result of that panel? I hope they will not wake up one day and then that will be the end of the panel. They say somebody died and then, or somebody was attacked and that is the end. Peradventure, the panel carry out the responsibility and come out with resolution and recommendations. What happens next? Who will it be handed over to? What will be done? Now, assuming some military officers have been caught, we are caught to have, have been the ones to that shot at the Lekki toll gate. What happens to them? What will the federal government, what will the Nigerian army do? Now, whether you like it or not, state governments have been asked to investigate into this issue. They don't have control over the Nigerian army. They don't have control over the Nigerian police. So whatever resolution they come to still comes back to the federal government, and federal government decides what happens. So my question will be, will it see the light of the day? So it's not. It is very easy to set up panel and waste resources.
Waste resources, because I was about asking you whether they are being paid. Of course, you are not a member of the panel, but I am not. But
yes, but the truth is, there will be sitting allowance.
Yes.
You can't bring out someone to say how many hours for how many months, because I know they have up to 6 months to carry out that assignment. Waste resources, waste taxpayers' money, and at the end of the day, what happens next? So it is a right step in the right direction. No doubt about that. But the question is, what is the end result? What will you achieve? You have had all the panels. The offer robbery panel was set up. Everything that happens in Nigeria, the panel will set up a panel. But at the end of the day, that. So that is the problem.
But now, Barrister James, you recently we saw the killing of 43 farmers in Borno, and you see that this Boko Haram, they are not being tagged as terrorists. Nobody's chasing them, but peaceful protesters are the people you are shooting. What's your comment on that? Does it mean that the military, the army have lost it, or they don't have, and they have called, of course, for removal of the service chiefs, and Mr. President is saying no?
Well, let me start by saying that the index that came out has Nigeria as number 14 on the list of failed states. So as we speak, it is tagged that Nigeria is a failed state. It is not my speech. It is not my. The statistics are there. It is not my making. But they say Nigeria is a failed state. Whether we like it or not, by virtue of that indices, Nigeria is a failed state. Not what is working. Now, it is unfortunate that Nigeria is a state that leaves the real thing and pursues shadows. Now, these soldiers, the assumed soldiers that were to take Lekki toll gate, that went to die the crocodile smile, they danced the crocodile smile. Why didn't they go to Sambisa to dance? Tomorrow, the chief of army staff will come out to tell us they have defeated Boko Haram. And the people you have tactically defeated are killing people. And recall that the day these people were killed, there was an election going on in Borno State. So that means there should be heavy presence of security operatives. And then somebody comes out from the presidency to tell us that they did not get permission. That is the state we have found ourselves. Our security agencies have missed it. The president has missed it. They should get it right. People have been crying how many years? Sack the service chiefs. Bring up fresh people. Now, those generals under them cannot bring suggestions because these people are, this person is my boss. Even if they bring, the boss decides what happens to it. It is one thing for you to bring an opinion. It is another thing for the boss to decide what happens to the opinion. Sack these people. Change the service chiefs. Let us get fresh blood. Let us get young people.
Fresh ideas.
Yes. Now, we are saying America refused to. 6 of those equipments are fighter aircrafts are in Nigeria currently as we speak. So what is happening to the fight against terrorism? The question is, the issue is somebody is not ready to take responsibility. The presidency should rise to the occasion. If possible, the president should relocate to Borno State and go and fight this thing. That was what he said. In 2014, he said it, that if the government of the day cannot succumb to Boko Haram, then they have failed. So that means he too has failed. I'm only going to leave from his statement. So it is most unfortunate. But I think the starting point is change the security apparatus. Change the security architecture. Revamp it, rejig it, let us know where we are headed. But until you do that, You can't continue to do the same thing and expect a different result. It is unfortunate.
But Mr. James, I can see the passion in your heart, and I believe that one day the country will be good. But on a final note, what do you think is your advice that maybe you want to give to the government, or even as a word of encouragement to your fellow citizens that this Nigeria will be better? What do you think that would be a way out?
All right. To my fellow citizens, I want to assure them that this country belongs to all of us. I am the #1 chief citizen of this nation. Likewise, every other citizen. We are the #1 citizen of this nation, whether we like it or not. Without me, there cannot be any leader, because we are the ones that go out to the poll to vote them. So what we should know is that we should keep fighting for our rights. There is no way they can kill all of us. They can't arrest all of us. But one thing I assure people is that people pay the price for the good Nigeria we have today. They didn't understand ways and their followers.
Yes,
so we should be ready to rise to the occasion, defend our rights, fight for it so that our children will enjoy a better Nigeria. Some of us may not be able to enjoy it, but let our children enjoy it. And to the government, we'll continue to plead with them. We can only appeal, we can't do anything. Because the people who are in power have failed us. The legislators have failed us. The judiciary have failed us. If it were in developed climes, by now the president shouldn't be sitting on his seat. Somebody should have resigned. How can you kill 43 people and then nothing is happening?
And no speech from the president.
No speech. Even if there's speech, they sympathize. It's only sympathy we get every time. And after that, what next? But to the government of the day, we'll tell them they should rise to the occasion and stop this killing of innocent Nigerians forthwith. Please, we plead with them.
Thank you very much. They have to rise to the occasion and stop this killing of innocent citizens. That is what Barrister James is suggesting to the Nigerian government, and I pray that they listen to him. It is a res judicata that every citizen of Nigeria has a maximum right to protest. This is contained in Chapter 4, particularly in Sections 39 and Section 40 of 1999 Constitution as amended. It is also interesting to know that the right to protest is also contained in the Bible in Acts of Apostles chapter 16, verses 35 to 40. This simply means that the right to protest is not only legal and constitutional, but also theological and biblical. And as such, both the law of humanity and the law of divinity oppose it. It is therefore our sincere advice to the Nigerian government to stop harassing and intimidating people and meet the demands of these Nigerian youths so that Nigeria will be a better place to be. This is where we draw the curtain on today's episode of the program. Until we come your way again, same time, same station, this is Arnold Zechinon, so urging you to justify the right to protest, and bye for now.